Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is type into the chat one thing you learned already today that you're like, I'm going to take action. This is what I'm going to do. So type in a word or a sentence, a phrase, like something that you already think, okay, I get it. And now I need to do this. Yeah. Open emails, school profile. Yes. Yes. Look for the profile. Exactly. Profile. Yep. Good. Good, you guys. Demonstrated interest. Yes. Ooh, pick a major that's not popular. Yes.
Missed that one.
Yeah, you guys are good. So good. Okay, finding college counselor. Good. Okay, awesome. I am happy to show you. Okay, I think I want to show you the high school profile, what it looks like. Should I start there and then I'll take questions? Would that be helpful? Those of you who have your things on, like thumbs up. Yep. Okay. All right. So this is what I'll do. I'll just show you how I do it because I didn't necessarily prepare. I should have just had it up, but let me show you. So I'm in Google. Can you all see my screen? Marcy, can you see my screen? I see you on my, okay, good. Yeah. Okay. So this is all I did. I typed in McKinney High School profile. Okay. And then it came up right here. I can see here, this is PDF. So I just clicked here. And now I see this. Okay. So you guys, I'm getting older, so I can't see everything. But it's going to look like it's going to just have some information. You know, some are prettier than others, you know, but basically I can see the demographics of the institution, the school, the high school. Okay. Demographics are here. So I understand the population. I understand the graduation requirements. It tells me how many and which honors and advanced level courses are offered. And then it tells me which APs are offered. So one of the things I would do in my, as an admission officer, I would have the school profile open while I was reviewing the application. Okay. So I would count the number of APs that were offered and circle on the transcript how many were taken. So they'd have a number, then say, okay, they took 5 out of 15 offered. Now, obviously, we know that you can't take all of them, but it just was a way to sort of count. Same thing for the honors. I count up how many honors were offered, and then I count how many you took, the applicant took, and I'd have another. It's like, it looks like a fraction. So I'd have the number 3 over the number 8 for honors, and then the number, 5 over the number 15 or 20 or whatever for APs. So that's the first thing I did, was review the AQs, the academic qualities, the transcript up against the profile. So I'm looking for the profile to know that. Okay. The profile also tells me the good ones, the ones I like, also gives me a GPA distribution. And I can't remember if they give it to me here. I'll have to show you. Oh, here we go. So here's the GPA distribution. Do you see that, you guys? So it tells me for the class of 2023, the highest GPA was a 5.21, and the top 10% was this range, and it goes so on and so forth. So I know if I'm looking at an applicant who has a 3.7, I know that they're in the first quartile. They are not in the top 10% because this tells me that. So for those of you who are seniors, you need to get a hold of this because you need to have a reality of like where you fall in the class, and that will help determine where you should be applying to college. Okay. So understanding this. Now this, you might say, well, but I'm class of 2025 or I'm class of 2027. This doesn't change too often in any school, but trust me. Okay. So there's that. And then there's usually also GPA, I'm sorry, test score averages. So I see a lot of information. I also see what percentage of students go on to four-year institutions and two-year, et cetera. So for a public school, this 48% is actually a good number. but for elite private high schools, like the one I worked at, it's 100%. Everybody's going to 4 year. I might be on occasion 99% because like the one girl is going to be a ballerina or something, or go to cooking school. Okay, so here's what I wanted to point out. Okay, so this was the list. Now, when I looked, the article came out, I want to say in 2021. So this is an updated list. It's not the one I saw when I looked up. So, but basically, is Harvard on here yet? No. She applied to all the big ones, right? Oh, I thought for a minute this said Stanford. It says Samford. Okay. So I think she had Harvard and Stanford, and
Stanford's on the list though too.
is it where? Oh yeah, okay.
It's like 3 down. Yep,
Yep.
from Stanford.
Okay, good. So like I said, of the 9 colleges that she was rejected from, 7 of them were not on this list. That was number 1. Number 2, no counselor should be approving a list that 9 out of the 11 colleges that you're applying to all admit under 25%. And in fact, I think of those 9, I think all of them were under 15%. That is not a healthy, balanced college list. So we teach you in Dream College Academy the 30-40-30 rule. 30% should be from your reach and your realistic reaches. 40% should be your targets and 50-50s, and 30% should be your likelies and most likelies. I don't personally use the term safety school. But this here, looking at your school profile and seeing what's on here will give you a really good idea of what should be on your list. And if it's not on this list, the legwork that you need to do as early as possible. Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to show you that and how I got there. Okay, happy to take questions.
I was gonna say, I've got a question. Yeah. If like on your school profile, it lists like the highest class, the class that, that it's offered, but like nobody ends up taking that class. I mean, it's something that maybe somebody takes once every like 3 or 4 years. Is that something that you should kind of talk about as like additional information?
Yes. Okay, Jody, such a good question. So there's 2 things. One, you look at your profile, it may even spell out, like I know for Marymount and some of the private schools, I know for sure because I have that experience. It will say, students have a maximum to, can only take this many APs, in any given year, and it's spelled out for you. So if there's any kind of restrictions like that, or a class that's listed is only offered every 2 years or something like that, sometimes it's right on the school profile. So it's there, but I never rely on that for students that I work with, especially those who are, VIPs and platinums. We make sure that if there's something like that, just a little paragraph, and make sure you put it in the extra. There's always additional information on the Common App. There's a space for that. And for those of you who are in California, there are actually 2 places that you can use. And we talk about that in the College Essay Bootcamp.
Okay.
Is that helpful?
Yeah, I've got one other question. We have a counselor that retired that she's been with for 3 years, and now a new one coming in. So I know you were saying about, making sure to kind of develop that relationship. I think she's got time scheduled. I mean, she's met the person, and this is how she found out, like in June, they did a, college essay boot camp. And then she's got time scheduled with the guidance counselor in August to kind of, do a little like, here, this is who I am, and this is the things you should know about. Is there any other suggestions that you would make?
Yes. Well, okay. I mean, are you sure? The first thing you want to make sure is, like, sometimes schools, pay the old counselor to make sure they finish off this class and write the letters of recommendation. So if that's not going to be the case, then I strongly recommend so if you join Dream College Academy, module 6 is explicit in what to do and say for your teacher, all your recommendations, and the way that I recommend going to it. It's also in my book, chapter 6, but Mark is here, I think. And Mark, you can speak for yourself, but Mark recently, he's a private client, but he recently followed the pattern and the method that I teach. on Teacher Rex. And Mark, will you just say just a couple words on after you emailed the teacher, what did the teacher reply?
The USC admissions officer.
No, the teacher recommendation.
Oh yeah. She said, "I am fully in tune with what you said."
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, there's a whole way to do it. You're trying to, I'll use this word here, but I don't mean it this way, but like you're trying to manipulate what each person is going to say in that application. And there's a way to do it in a way that's respectful, but you have to having control. So
Okay.
Wesley,
Thank you.
I saw your hand. Wesley, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Collin, for sharing with us. Really appreciate it. What are your thoughts about a student taking a lighter high school load, non-AP courses, and in lieu of that, taking a very heavy college load?
Is the rationale to get some of those GEs done before so that she or he enters like as a junior? What's the purpose of that?
The purpose would be to set the student apart, to show more academic interest and the ability to handle, not just handle college load, but to show that they did achieve in college.
Is he at a public school now?
Yes, a public school.
Okay. So my answer to that is you want to supplement after exhausting what's available at your high school. And the reason I say that is because just like anything, you want to, there's always just one major question when I'm reviewing an application. Given your resources, what did you accomplish? Okay. So the reason the school profile is so important is because I'm going to understand the context and where you go to school. Okay. So I used to give this example long ago, and I'm just remembering it now, but I think it's in chapter 1 or chapter 2 of the book, and it's in all of module 1 in Dream College Academy. It's all about the academics. You have to understand that there's 5 academic food groups that you should be taking all 4 years. So that's number 1. Number 2, taking advantage of what your school offers. So the kid that takes 1 AP out of the 20 that are offered at the school, or 25 or 30 or what, there's some schools that offer, versus the kid that takes 3 APs out of the 3 offered at their school. That kid shows me that they're going to take, go after it and take advantage of what's there. So you want to start with what's at your school because that's what's offered in front of you. Given your resources, what did you do with them? And then to supplement that, you can certainly do that, because if what you're saying, and no judgment if this is what you're saying, so you don't have to say it, I'll say it this way. There was a student that we were working with at Linwood Unified. Actually, I don't know if Grace is in here. And Linwood Unified is, like I said, 85 to 95% free and reduced lunch. Well, Celeste took everything that was offered at her school and more, and then also supplemented that with college classes. So she did all of it. And then when we helped her apply the strategies that we teach, she's now at Stanford. So yeah, the other way of thinking about it, if you're a great singer and you're not part of your school chorus or glee club, I'm going to question why. Why aren't you contributing your talents to the choir if you're, singing at Lakers halftime show, So, okay. Answer your question. Is that helpful?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, sure. All right. Who's next?
There's a question, is too many AP seen as a negative by colleges?
Are too many AP seen as a negative? I mean, the short answer is not usually. So the question that always comes up, is it better to get an A in a regular class or a B in an AP class? It's always a question, right? And the answer to that question is it's better to get an A in an AP class, right? Not the answer you want to hear. But there's 2 things when it comes to academics. You want to be on an upward trajectory of strength of curriculum, So if you started with 1 honors and freshman year, and you move that up to 2 honors, and maybe usually in sophomore year, there's usually like 1 AP that you can have access to, like AP Euro or something. And you just keep going up in a trajectory of strength of curriculum. That's 1. The other thing that you want to be going upwards in trajectory is your GPA. So you want to be really thoughtful about those things, because you can be going up in strength of curriculum. If you're also going down in your grades, then you want to be sort of careful about that. Now, honestly, during admissions committee, I would present the student. I'd be like, this is Mark from, Pasadena, and I won't say your school or whatever. So, such and such school, and I'd present, and then the committee had an opportunity to ask questions. The first question that was asked for any applicant was this: what is he or she taking senior year? Okay, so in high school, you're going to graduate with 8 semesters of grades, but you're going to apply to college with 6 semesters of GPA. So at the end of junior year, that is your GPA. But they want to know that you don't have senioritis right away, that you're still challenging yourself with the curriculum. So when we were reviewing applications, a lot of times we didn't have the newest grades yet, because they don't come in until like February. So we're making decisions, or we're starting to make decisions even before those grades are even uploaded. So that was always the first question. What are they taking? The other thing I want to say, because I think maybe it might tie in with what Wesley asked too. I'll tell you, this is in module 5, module 5. It's 5 food groups. This is in module 1. And so I'm a real stickler for this because of my experience. The 5 food groups that I'm saying to the VIP group right now: English, math, science, social science, modern language, or foreign language. Those are the 5 academic food groups. If you're serious about a top 100 or top 25 college, you have to have that, period. Okay. So it's not true for every college, but that's like the basics. Like, let's start there. So when students start to say, oh, I want to take, I want to take journalism, and I want to take this, and you might have to take journalism because you're the editor-in-chief, but that's, there's not a reason that that class should be in lieu of one of those 5. Okay. Now, Dr. C, I finished AP Calculus, BC by junior year. Great. Then in senior year, double up in one of those 5. Okay. So yeah, you want to stay with that 5. Why? Because as an admission officer, we would say, well, they took all these other classes, either these electives. That's what college is for. Okay. So there's a delicate balance in showing evidence that you are interested in your major that you're headed to. That can be shown in clubs and organizations, in summer programs, in internships, and all the things I'll go over tomorrow. And if you have room in your schedule still with those 5, you can add on, right? At a place like Marymount or private elite college, high schools, students are easily taking 6 or 7 classes, and that's allowed. That's not always allowed at a public school. So that's why, to your point, Wesley, you could supplement basically what I just said. You would do that by supplementing, which just to your point. Okay. Next question.
How do colleges view grades that are pass or fail?
Oh, I mean, again, if that's the rule of your school, then it'll show on there. I mean, this was even more relevant during COVID. There was a lot of pass fail. But if of your own volition, you chose for that class to be a pass fail, that can sometimes raise a red flag, because it's like, well, why did you put it as a pass fail? If it's a pass fail and it's your choice, basically I'm going to assume it was a C, and you just didn't want me to see it was a C, right? So if it's not a C, it's like an A- and you're like freaking out about it, like, just leave it. So you never want to give more reasons for the person reading your application to question your application. Okay. Did I answer the question or was there a second part? I can't remember.
No, no second part.
Let's see, other questions? My eldest daughter is in the global management program. Nope. Although calc, some AP, most does not, even with 5 APs. For instance, to take the classes at Cal, however, the student creating colors, the student need not take the class at Berkeley. So, I mean, that's a very specific question and a very specific school. So, you know, obviously there are different rules. And I'm going to just say this too. It used to be, if you took APs and you got a 4 or 5, wasn't that long ago that you could get credits for those courses and start college as a sophomore, start college as a junior because of all of the APs you had taken, and or community college courses. So from a business perspective, because today's theme is college admissions as a business, there are many schools that are not going to take that, are not going to give you credit, because if they're going to give you a diploma that says whatever it says from, they want that diploma to be authentically from there, right? So advancing you 2 years. I had a student, Curtis, who you'll meet on session 3. Curtis was admitted to Harvard, Yale, U Chicago, Berkeley. He's from DC. He chose a full ride scholarship to FAMU because he had taken so many courses and he was I think he was going to be advanced by at least a year, if not 2, at FAMU. But Harvard and Yale's not giving you credit for that. Not a chance in heck, right? So he's like, I'm going to take the full scholarship. I'll get my PhD from one. I'm sure he will. I think he's doing some major internship right now in San Francisco. I'll see him next weekend. So yeah. Okay. So anyway, I'm not sure if I answered your question, Wesley, but it's obviously different that's a very specific question, but I just wanted to share with you from the perspective of the college, why they would do that. So marketing graphic design junior year, because signing up 10th grade, she wanted to major in public relations. She's since changed her mind, wants to go to nursing. She explained why she took those classes. Yes. Yes. So who's this? I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. Oh, Marcy, I'll answer your question. I see test optional. Okay. So, okay, here's another reason why it's not always good to take these extra elective courses. You change your mind too. So tomorrow session, I really talk about when I have private clients and they're like, I wanted to, what was it? There was a kid who loved theater and loved building costumes, but she wanted to major in STEM and she wanted to, I can't remember what kind of engineering that like makes the like prosthetics. I don't know what that's called. Maya, do you know what that's called? And so I was like, oh my God, like we're going to talk about how when you built those wings for the thing, like there was a way. So one of our superpowers that we like to say is like, we help students figure out how you make connections when it seems like there are no connections. So figure out how you would otherwise backwards engineer, what you can do. Oh my God, I promised to do that. Stephanie, did they get the link to get it?
What link? What?
The action plan, the thing that we were gonna do.
I have that ready. Yes.
Oh, right.
But we haven't talked about it.
Yeah. Okay. I know. Okay. Wait. Marcy, I'm going to answer your question while I also find the download that I just downloaded. Where did it go? Test optional, you guys. Okay. So, never send your scores, the ones that you get for free when you sign your student up, because you want to check the scores first. We had the CEO of Revolution Prep as our guest this week, and I think I think we're gonna probably make it a podcast because it was so valuable information. So testing optional means just that. So if it's going to help you, submit it. If it's not going to help you, don't submit it, right? Because I think when this first started, families got nervous that like, well, what if I don't submit it? Am I lowering my chances of getting admitted because I didn't submit scores? And the answer to that is no, because it would be illegal for them to do that because they've stated that they are test optional. So every year we've had students who were admitted to, actually we had someone who was admitted to Princeton with no testing, and I don't even know why she didn't submit them. She also had 5s on all her AP. So all her quantifiable data points were great, right? Her GPA and her APs and everything else, her curriculum. So I'll explain in a second. And then someone else that was admitted almost everywhere she applied, including Notre Dame University, without testing. So that was pretty amazing. So it does happen. So there are 3 components of your AQs: grades, test scores, and strength of curriculum. Grades, test scores, and strength of curriculum. How many honors and AP courses you took out of how many were offered. Okay. So when you remove one, the testing, then you have to know that the other pieces are going to take more precedence, right? So quantifiable data points versus qualitative versus quantitative, right? So tomorrow we're going to talk about the PQs, the qualitative. Okay. And I do think that AP scores are starting to play a role because it's another quantifiable data point. Okay. I want to show you an action plan, and for being here, you're going to get this little document that we have, but it's also in module with more explanation. I need to just find out, how do I pull that up? I'll take another, if you have another question, just type in the chat while I'm looking for the download that I downloaded before we got on this call. Okay, here we go. What do you do with a rising 10th grader who has no idea what she wants to do? You enroll her in Dream College Academy, and then she gets with the program and she figures it out. They do well in classes. We only know they aren't really interested in math. Okay, so you're ruling out some things, which is good. And yeah, oh, good question. And you know what? The earlier the better. All right, let me show you this, and then I don't know, Stephanie has some magic that I guess she's gonna send this to you as a little gift. But this is in module 1. Module 1 is, Mark, I think you're on, if you can mute yourself.
Yes. Oh no.
I'm mute.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right, guys. So all of module 1 is all about the AQs, the academic qualities. And then module 2, we do some case studies as well to follow this up. But let me just show you. So here is an example of how you would backwards engineer. Remember, I shared with you that Missy, that's her name in the book, came to see me before her sophomore year. Okay. And she wanted to go to an Ivy League school. So we backwards engineer. This is not Missy's action plan. I'm just saying that was the example I gave. So we would say, okay, these are the goals by the time I get to senior year. So we have to figure out what are the annual milestones that would get us to this place. So these are the AQs, all of the academics, and this is based on knowing your school profile, knowing your strengths, all of the things that go into your academic plan is different from somebody else. Okay. So you just have to kind of figure out. And then we have the PQs, the involvement in the leadership. Okay. So I do remember Missy said, I want to be, class student body president. She was a student at Marymount High School, a girls' school. So on her PQ plan, I'm gonna just tell you, like, it's a strategy, right? Everything is a strategy. You got to figure out, like, okay, well, if I want to be the student body president, and you guys, look, don't be embarrassed. This process does not reward the humble. So I am 1000% serious when I say, look, all right, Missy, so you're gonna have to politic, right? You're gonna have to get to know people. And by the time you are running for office at the end of junior year, you're gonna have to know everybody's name. You're gonna meet them. So somehow between now and a year and a half from now when we met, that's a strategy. If you know you want to be student body president, what are you gonna do in the meantime? And so one of her strategies was she knew that at a girls' school, no judgment and no stereotype. She's like, they won't vote me in if I've always had all the leadership positions. She knew if she was always the president of the class, as a sophomore, she was going to be class president. She knew if she was class president again as junior year, the likeliness of them repeating to continue and not give somebody else a chance was slim. So she purposely on her chart figured out a different leadership role for junior year. So she would take a step back and then run. Okay. So again, this is not hard, but you just have to have a plan, right? My mom used to say, make a plan, work the plan, and the plan will work. That's it. So I'm just showing you how to make a plan. So that's that. And then we have here, coolness factor. So I have the wrong glasses on for this. So this is just an example of a coolness factor, which we'll go into tomorrow. But, you have to think, okay, if I want to, so this would be me, right? I love college football. I love college football. So I want to write articles about big rivalry games and have an article published by 11th or 12th grade. So these are some steps I might take to get to a coolness factor. Okay. So this is that. So anyway, you have this and you have blanks for yourself. Stephanie, can you just tell them how they're going to do? I don't know. She comes up with these genius ideas, not me.
Okay, well, I don't know if Dr. Cologne was going to get this tomorrow, but the best part about this DCA program to me, especially for our rising seniors, is that this includes actually a full essay camp. It's essay camp on demand. It walks every student through every step that we teach in our 5-day camp. It takes them from brainstorming to drafting to editing to finishing. Our kids in camp, Mark, unfortunately, you haven't done camp yet.
But Maya did too last week.
But Maya did camp. Our students typically finish anywhere from 3 to 6. I've had a student last summer that finished 10 essays in 5 days. So it depends on the rate that the student goes themselves. But this is the best part of this Dream College Academy platform, is that not only does it give you all of the background information, the resume, the academics, teacher recommendations, but it has a full DIY essay section. And the essay is, the most dreaded part of the application. It's got 6 modules in the essay section, all of the templates that we use. This is everything that we use with our essay camp students as well as our private students, all in one platform.
Yeah.
So I'm sure she was getting to that maybe at some point this weekend, but that's the best part of this DCA program. But beside that,
yeah, tell them how they're going to get the action plan.
So everybody who showed up tonight, you will receive an email. In that email, of course, will be a link. Go to the link, type in your information, and you will it will take you to another page that will give you the code directly. You'll also get an email with your action plan download. You'll be able to download it right to your computer. You'll get the link in the following page. You can click to purchase right away if you'd like. It's a $700 discount, a $700 discount this weekend only, for only the people that have participated in the challenge. This is not going to the public. This isn't going to anybody else on our email list. This is only going to all the beautiful faces that I'm staring at as we speak.
This is okay. So this is what yes, I didn't hard sell you today. I introduced the Dream College Academy that includes everything. And and it is $19.97 and you get a $700 discount. It includes all of that. And it's true. the essay bootcamp pieces are critical. So you can have the best action plan in the world and actually do all of the things and get to the place where you're like, I'm Missy, and she did become student body president. She fulfilled, excuse me, almost everything that she set out to do, the Missy that's in the book. But and then she took essay camp. I mean, Missy was one of our first essay campers, probably in 2003 or 4 when we started it. Now I'm dating myself. I know I look like 35, but she was one of our first original OG essay campers. So everything that Missy used, or that we used at Marymount and I developed by all the years of experience, is in this platform that she'll get. So anyway, bottom line is, by being here, you'll get this link at minimum. You'll get this little action plan, so you can do that with your child, and it shows you some examples. But the best thing to do is to combine all of the things that I'm teaching you in 3 sessions with the modules that go into deep dive, and you get these live trainings that we offer every single week. The live trainings, for example, this week we had Fatima from Rice University, along with Maria from Thatcher. Thatcher is a private independent school, but she used to work at UPenn and Occidental. The week before, we had the VP from University of San Francisco and also from Chapman University. In 2 weeks, we have the VP from UCLA, also someone from UC Santa Barbara. They'll be on one day together, and another day will be the Dean of Admission from USC and the Dean of Admission from Bowdoin College. So I open up my Rolodex to all of you so that you have access, which I can just tell you, if you're out of public school, you definitely don't have the access that I can give you. And I say that not to impress you. I say that to impress upon you that when I was working at Vassar, I was given a list of colleges, or I'm sorry, of high schools that I should visit. And they included, by and large, 95% of them were private independent schools. Why? Because we knew that if I made an appointment and I showed up, that the counselor would make time for me and that there were sure to be students to see me. 9 times out of 10 showing up at a public school, rarely was there someone to greet me, but that's not always true. And rarely were there students to see me. And if there were, they weren't necessarily qualified, right? So you do that enough times, then the college stops coming to the public school. So my guess is that you're out of public school, you probably don't even know when, where, how, and why you sign up to go see a college rep that's coming to visit. That's my guess. So I just feel like that's not good enough. I feel like you deserve to have access, just like we gave to our girls at Marymount. And so that's why I do that. So it's still open to everybody can come live and watch it, but by being a member, you actually get the replays that will be in your login. So you get 48 months. That's 4 years, right? So if you're a senior, but you have a younger kid, like you get 4 years of DCA. So, okay. Anyway, I didn't mean to do all that, but thank you, Stephanie, for sharing, because it is a high value.
And I also want to add that this product was sort of born out of, I think parents, they want something, they want more information, they want more understanding to carry with them beyond these 3 days. And so this is what this product was born out of. These 3 days, absolutely. Will you get more tomorrow? Will you get another supplemental template tomorrow? Yes. If you observe and listen to what Dr. Colon has to say, all the information is there. It's just about putting the pieces together. But this was just born out of, the last time we did this challenge, we had some suggestions. So we created something that we heard some parents would want. So that's that.
Okay, awesome. Dara, you have a question about test scores and her super score is 1530 and the single sitting is 1510. That's negligible in terms of, the difference. So this was Stephanie, just remind me now that camp is over, we can get back to it. But I think we do need to make that as a podcast, what we had with Ryan at Revolution Prep. So It's not always super easy to find, but you should be able to find on the website of whatever Ivy League she's applying to if they super score or not. Or it's a great way, it's a great question to ask the admission office. Again, a place like the Ivies are not doing the demonstrated interest, but it certainly it never hurts to send an email if you can figure out. I've been able to find who it is at Columbia and certain Ivies, or just because I know who it is. So I'll put my clients in touch with that person. But if you can find the person who is in charge of your region, meaning every college has someone in the admission office that is assigned to your high school. And it's usually divided by region. So, or states. So again, Vassar has a much smaller applicant pool. Well, so everything's relative. It's a big applicant pool, but there was like 7 of us in the office, and some, UCLA, we're going to be talking to Gary Clark in a couple of weeks, and we're going to ask the hard question: what is admissions like? How does it work? And a UC, at a place that gets 150,000 applications. So he'll be breaking that down for us. So anyway, the point being, if it's a small staff, you can definitely find it, find out who it is. Other questions? Ooh, this was a good discussion. Marcy, did I answer everything, or did I forget something? Oh, you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I think I had asked, one of the reasons why my daughter hasn't taken a tremendous amount of APs is because she doesn't test well. So she went the route of dual enrollment, where she was able to take college level classes within those 5 subject areas, but not so much was she on the AP path.
Mhm.
How does that kind
So-
of factor into like
Yeah.
what she would do, or what kind of schools she would be able to look at?
Well, I mean, we'd probably take a look at her transcript. Just email me, maybe we can make an appointment. So, but the dual enrollment, I mean, yeah, does she still, if she's doing dual enrollment, obviously she's in classes at the other level. I don't know who's not muted right now.
It's me. I'm trying to.
Oh, I'm like, it's gotta be you or Stephanie.
You
Okay.
got my dog.
That's okay. So there's where a place to explain that, and she needs to, that's probably should be one of her essays. Like, she needs to just talk about that. And when there's something in your application that you either know or fear that they're going to be like, well, why did she do this, or what happened here, or like there's one semester that he has lower grades, don't make them let them guess. Just tell them, because better to control that narrative than not. So, okay. So I'm not that sure if that's helpful, but we can sort of massage that. There was another question, something about how does a Chinese student, did I read that correctly? What's the question? Okay, so tomorrow, you guys, all about the PQs, which is probably my favorite part. So I love to talk about the PQs and how to distinguish yourself. So that's definitely one. So let me just share, because I so briefly breezed through this. So just so you see this, again, if some of you might be ready to purchase now because you already know, or you've been with us before, but we'll be diving deeper into this. So just so you understand, Dream College Academy, 48 months, you get 2 users. So mom and kid, or if you have if you have twins, whatever, you get 2 users for 48 months. $19.97, but we're giving you 2 discount. Now, this includes it includes everything that Cosette did, the Dream College Academy modules, and an extension of that, module 5 is a small version of essay. And then we also give you the long version, the whole 5-day version in on-demand format. So that's a steal, you guys. If you don't use that, like that price this weekend, like a hot flash sale is a steal. And then there are add-ons, and I'll go over the add-ons tomorrow in more depth, but our best product, we believe, is doing the College Essay Bootcamp live. And whether you're a VIP private client or a platinum client, like all of my clients are required to take Essay Camp, right? Like, because you just get so much done. And Maya, do you want to say anything about Essay Camp?
Essay camp?
Yeah.
I don't know, it was really helpful. I went in not thinking I would get anywhere with my essays, and I came out with a few solid essays. And so like at the least it does is it gives you like faith in yourself, which like really helps during like a complicated college process.
She's being super humble. I think you ended with 4 essays or 3 topics, right? Anyway, she wrote one of the best essays. Oh, Mark is here. Mark is going to get jealous. Just in the first week, I already told her dad, I'm like, she wrote one of the essays that will definitely be in the packets. Like she came out with a bomb essay. So she worked on that one. So in Essay Camp Live, you get a personal essay coach for the 5 days, or there's upgrades from that, but basically the basic package is a 5-day essay coach to get them going. So
And
anyway,
this is how much our students love us, that like Mark comes to everything. Maya just ended Essay Camp and they're still here on a Friday night.
Yeah.
So I think that says something about us as coaches, although I haven't been coaching this summer.
yeah. Okay. One more question.
One last thing I just want to say. My daughter did your essay boot camp 4 years ago, and I tell all of my friends that it was the smartest money that we invested in during her time that we were doing our college search. I mean, it was COVID, so it was like a completely different thing. And this is unsolicited, but it was by far the most effective money spent. And she came out at the end of, I think she had 5 essays at the end of the week. And then she didn't have to worry about it. You know, going into September, she was done, and everybody's writing their essays in English class, and she didn't have to go to class. So thank you. And that's why I'm here again.
Marcy, I didn't even, I'm like so glad you're here. I think is Natasha still here? So like, I didn't know, Marcy, that you had a younger one that was, I didn't realize. So thank you so much for saying that. And yeah, and I think Natasha is here too. She had someone who went through, and we'll have another one go through. So unsolicited, did not say anything. So anyway, one more question I have time for, and then I'm really, obviously, those of you who are on the East Coast, gosh. Anything that came up in here? Nope, I don't see any more in the chat, so. Okay. All right, so I'm going to, I'm such a teacher, right? You can take the teacher out of the classroom, but, so type into the chat before I let you go. One thing that you heard me say, right? Maybe you've heard it a million times, but you finally heard it. So one takeaway and one action item. One takeaway and one action item. And then yeah. Ooh, good, Wesley. The hierarchy of activities. Audrey, that the last time we ran this challenge, it's always the star of the show. So tomorrow's, you don't want to miss tomorrow. You don't want to miss tomorrow. Start now so you don't stress. Yeah. Reduce your stress, meaning parents, reduce your stress and maximize their success. That's my motto. Fatima, hey. I love that the whole family is here. Yes, we got to get him enrolled, Fatima. College has someone. Yes. Oh, Randy, thank goodness. Yes, if you didn't know that before, that's a really good takeaway. Yep, understanding where your student falls in relation to their school. Yep. AQs get your foot in the door, the PQs help you down now. Yes, Mark's been watching every module. Watch more module 5 before essay camp. Start planning with goal shape. The next essay camp, for those of you who are curious, the next live camp, again, the platform you get on demand, for 48 months, you can certainly, Cosette, remember, was denied twice as a traditional aid student and then as a transfer, got in nowhere. And all she did was soaked in all of the modules in Dream College Academy and showed up for the live, was like Mark showing up live for anything and everything. So she did not take live essay camp. So that's certainly one way, but most of our students who have a lot of success will do the live version. So the next one is July 22nd. It is a hybrid. So you can, if you're in Los Angeles, we certainly have students who fly out and stay here. So there'll be a location here in Los Angeles, but you can also do virtual. There's also one right now, it's on the books for July 29th. That will probably end up being just virtual. And there's one August 5th. Those are the next 3 coming up. And any of those are available virtual. The August 5th is also available live in Linwood, where we have a partnership. Okay, action step, create an action plan. Yay! Start planning early with the goal sheet. Okay, our US system is completely new for me. Oh, Olivia, yes. Okay, awesome. Okay, Stephanie, anything that when will they receive this email? Can you just share that? And
I am
Well, it's
creating
good.
this email as we speak, so it'll go out just as soon as we're done. I'm gonna pop my email in the chat. Some of you may have received an email already from my Gmail, but I'm gonna go ahead and pop it in the chat again. So if you don't receive it or something gets crossed, email me and I will take care of it first thing in the morning. It's 10 o'clock where I am. Let's see.
I just did it.
Okay, there we go. Yes, so it should go out in just a few minutes, but take a screenshot of that just in case you need to ask me something or it doesn't get to you. Email me and I will get to it first thing in the morning before we start our next session. And you should all receive an email maybe tonight, and then I know you will for sure receive an email just a few minutes before we start in the morning with the link once again, but it's same link all weekend, both sessions.
Okay. Maya, Mark, you already have access to all of this because you're private clients as well. Okay. All right, everyone. Well, it's the top of the hour. So happy that you are here and informing yourself. I'm on a mission to close the information gap so that we close the education gap. So it's a lofty mission, but if you have friends who you think need to hear this information, please invite them to join you tomorrow. It's open to everyone, as you know. So let's get this out, okay? All right, have a happy night. East Coasters, you, Marcy. It's so late. All right, that means you can sleep in. It'll be 12 o'clock when we start for you tomorrow. All right, bye everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, of course.